Hello, and welcome back to Rock Tumbling Weekly. And for those who have been following along, welcome back. I think you'll be interested in seeing some of the progress that we've made because I've already done a couple of midweek checks. And for those who are brand new, my name is Shannon and I love tumbling rocks. And this is a weekly video journal that I do documenting all of my tumbling projects, all 9 barrels that I have going. So if you're interested in rock tumbling to see if it's right for you, then check out the weekly videos and see if that seems interesting to you. And if you're brand new and you'd like to know how to do it from brand new start and into the process, I do have an online Rock Tumbling 101 course through Udemy, and I'll put that link in the description below if you'd like to know what equipment and supplies you need and how to do all of the individual steps. This 101 course covers everything. So I'm really excited to see some of the progress that we've made and some of the repairs that we're doing on some previous batches. So let's get into it. So last week, as I looked through all of the Moonstone, I decided to put it all through one more week of course, just to be patient, just to make sure that everything looked as good as it was gonna look before we moved on to medium. And yeah, everything's looking really nice. And so this week for sure, I'm definitely moving this over to medium. And I mean, again, I just love when you are working with regular Moonstone as opposed to rainbow Moonstone, the variety of colors that you get in a batch. It's beautiful. So I'm gonna look through some of these because like this one looks like it's about to split apart right there. So I'm gonna take out any other more fragile pieces and set those aside and then move the rest on to medium. So after last week's mishap, I put the citrine back in a barrel with a bunch of other quartz that previously didn't make the cut. And I mean, it's already feeling much better than it did coming out of polish. So something happened during that polish and I'm not sure what, but this is feeling really good already and looking much better. And then I've also, that one's not looking much better. Anyway, but I've also got some other pieces of carnelian and quartz and clear quartz that are looking better than they did before. So, oh, very nice. So I'll give this a good wash off and get this going in medium grit. And yeah, we'll see how it looks next week. Seems like this week we've got several. Look at that carnelian. Some dendritic material in there too. But yeah, it looks like we've got several repair barrels going this cycle, and I mean, that's good. Some of the stuff that's been sitting on the shelf needing a little extra attention is getting that right now, and it will look great when it's done. The lepidolite has finished 1 week in medium grit, and I am finally starting to have some hope for this batch. It's feeling much smoother than when it went into the medium grit. That makes me really encouraged. And yeah, it's looking nice. I think just being patient and being very picky about which pieces went forward and then processing enough batches of rough to actually get a barrel of some nice stuff really has paid off so far. But we're only in the middle of the tumbling process, so I shouldn't jinx myself. But I'm happy. This is good. This is much better. So Tiger's Eye has finished 1 week in fine grit, and it is looking really delicious. I am very happy about how this is going. They're like baby smooth and probably won't need a full week in extra fine. I'm just going to do a couple of days, probably 3 days in extra fine. But I've been looking through these pieces, and I think I may have already shown you that there was some blue Tiger's Eye, Hawk's Eye in this batch as well, little pieces, but there's also some of these pieces have a little thin layer of hematite on them, and maybe I can find a better example, but I did want to show you this, that this is technically lion skin because that is Tiger Eye with quartz in it as well, and there's this nice layer of quartz in there as well. So I have a mix of several different types of items in here, which are really gorgeous. But yeah, some of these pieces have a very definite layer of hematite with it. Like you could see this black layer right here is some hematite. Yeah. And there's some right here as well. All right, well, I'll wash this off really good and we'll get this into extra fine. Okay, the Indigo gabbro is looking much better after these last 4 days in fine grit than they did coming out of fine last time. Now, yeah, these are looking nice and smooth. No sign of any other rocks chipping and damaging these. And so I'll give these a good wash. I'll put them in extra fine grit and check on them again in a couple of days. And yeah, but they're looking good. They feel so nice. And yeah. So we had to backtrack a little on these, but it was worth it because they are looking much better now. So, excellent. All right, I've checked on the items in the repair barrel, the Larvikite and quartzes, after 4 days in fine grit, and it's all looking really nice and smooth. I'm going to switch this over to extra fine, but of course check for any stones that might have weakened and remove those. But yeah, these are looking really nice. Here's some fire quartz. Yeah, I really love hematoid quartz. Those streaks of pink and red in here are actually hematite. And it's so beautiful. This is such a lovely crystal. I highly recommend you tumble some because it's just really lovely. All right, let me get these washed and checked over, and I will put them in extra fine. And the Indigo gabbro has just finished 3 days in extra fine, and it is feeling super smooth. And yeah, the experiment right now is just running these more fragile stones in fine and extra fine a little less time. So they have a little less opportunity to get beat up. And so the grit is allowed to do its job, but no more. And so it had 4 days in fine, 3 days in extra fine, And now I'm going to give it a really good wash and get this into polish. And now the Larvikite has just finished 3 days in extra fine. So since this and the gabbro tend to get really beaten up in these final stages, I'm trying to do just enough and nothing more. And these are looking really good. Super smooth. Nothing in the batch is at risk for breaking. And I'm going to give these a good wash cycle and get them in polish. All right, here's the Howlite, and what I didn't show you was that I took it out of extra fine after 2 days and I put it in dry polish, and now it's been in dry polish for a week, and I can see that there is a gleam on it. There is a shine, but I have seen Howlite shinier. So I'm going to keep this in for another week. But so far, it's looking really nice. Really nice. Smooth and like, yeah. I don't know that we're really getting the shine off of these, but it actually still has polished material on it. So anyway, I'm going to put the lid back on these and keep them running for another week, and we'll see how they are next week. Thanks again for joining me this week and looking at the progress of all of my barrels, and things are looking up. You know, everything seems to be back on track, and the little tweaks that I'm making and the extra checks that I'm making seem to really be paying off. And we've got several barrels going into polish this week. I'm really looking forward to hopefully showing you some great finished products next week. So thanks again, and if you're interested in rock tumbling, if you'd like to see my adventures and a whole variety of different stones and start to finish tumbling videos, then make sure to hit the subscribe button and you'll see whenever I post a new gemstone video. So thanks, and I'll see you again next week.